is it? I don't see it.
Hey everyone. What? It should be refresh.
I'm refreshing it. That's oh.
Oh, there it is.
Oh. Well, it's on a delay.
This is Schmolitics. Oh wait, we might record.
Oh, should I do sound? No, I shouldn't do
No,
sound.
don't do sound on that. Don't do sound on that.
How do I I want to share it.
Just share it to your... Sorry everyone, Carlos is sharing this video, so just hang with us for a second.
Okay, there we go, I'm sharing.
Okay, I'm going to stop record. Okay.
Oh, hold on, I gotta turn off the sound.
Just turn the volume down.
Hey, Mason video.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Alright. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah,
Hi.
Hi, hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm great. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Oh,
This is Schmolitics?
this is Schmolitics.
Carlos, where are we right now?
We are in my office in Hollywood, where I'm working on the post-production part of my show.
And what show is that?
The show is called Lore.
Lore. Is that Lore? Season 2 of Lore on Amazon?
On Amazon, yes, yes.
So every once in a while we're talking here, you might hear some sounds coming from the other rooms.
Yeah, because the show's being cut right there. Not in the room, but on the other side of the wall.
Right on the other side of us. We can't see it.
No.
And we're also doing this podcast live right now.
Yes.
So the audio of this will come out wherever you subscribe to the Schmolitics podcast mañana. To get you ready for the Tuesday, June 5th California primary.
Which is why we're here. Because multiple people, independently of each other, approached us and were like, hey, where's the Schmolitics voter guide? And I said, hey, why are you so lazy? And then I called you, and I was like, hey, we should do this.
Yeah, and then he asked me, hey, Dan, why are you so lazy?
No, I asked him that all the time.
Because, I didn't want to do this for one friend or two friends, but I figure if we do it for the whole
Seven
Schmolitics,
was the...
that was the cap.
Quorum.
That's how much we needed.
I have done a lot of research for this.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I have it written down.
Let's see all of your research.
Written down right there. There's all my research. I'm really excited to share this with everybody. No, I'm kidding. I think this is perfect. I'm playing two roles today. I've been busy. I've been out of the country. I've been doing some crazy stuff, so I actually have not had the time. Not an excuse, but I am not just your co-host and life partner, but I'm also the uninformed voter this time around, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be that and to really glean from you what you think is best, and to hear why you support certain candidates.
And so, Carlos, is it fair to say that you represent and are the kind of person in the situation where you give a shit, you just don't know much about the election?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely give a shit. And I don't know, besides McConaughey running for governor, I don't know about all right. I'm Gavin Newsom. Yeah.
Oh man. That's only like a half joke because Cynthia Nixon's running for governor in New York, and if you didn't, I actually thought for something like, oh, did he just announce that he's running last minute?
That's totally. I mean,
he's wearing the reconnaissance still.
We're what?
Are we in the reconnaissance?
I feel like the reconnaissance is.
It's a little
tailing out. I think we're in.
That epoch is over.
The epoch is over. The Tupac is over. Who's next?
Well, we're going to find out when we go through this voter guide.
Let's do it.
So, okay, so now we're going to do this for audio. So we're going to make a clean start. And the goal... we'll get into that afterwards. What's that?
Mike Garrity. And we're back live
now. And we're back. Now we're live. And if you have questions, we're not going to scroll back through. But, leave comments as we go through. We can see them. And then when we get to the end of the voter guide, any questions you have, let us know, and we'll answer whatever we can for you.
Yes.
Letting you know up front, we don't have endorsements for Congress, State Assembly, and State Senate. If you have specific questions about candidates running in your district, message me, message Carlos. You can message us at Schmolitics across all social media, and we will give you our opinions for those individual races.
100%.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
In 5,
4, 3, 2, 1, I declare Schmolitics.
You think by now we'd have like a clean intro for this? We still are you saying Schmolitics? Am I saying?
It's time.
I'm Dan Gordon.
And I'm...
Oh wait, no, we do it the other way. We go the title first. Okay, ready? This is Schmolitics. I'm Dan Gordon.
And I'm Carlos Vallejo.
And this is our California Primary Voter Guide for Tuesday, June 5th.
Emerson for me right now.
Okay, so Carlos, how much do you know about this election?
I know zero. I know that Gavin Newsom is attractive.
Okay, great.
That's all I know.
That's pretty much all you need to know. So I know a good bit about this election. I have done a lot of research because we said we'd do this voter guide episode, so we figured this is a great opportunity for someone that knows something and someone that wants to know something. And, we can all learn something.
If you know something, say something.
So, just like very briefly about who we are and what our bias is for this voter guide, I think that's important.
Please.
So, I was a pledged delegate for Bernie Sanders, the 2016 DNC, which we've documented on the show. You can go back and listen to those episodes.
Ago.
It was years ago. That was in 2016, back when we had hope. And now I'm an elected delegate to the California Democratic Party, which we also documented on the show. Years ago, last year. And I'm involved in supporting universal health care for California. And as a delegate for the state party, it's an unpaid position. It's a 2-year role, and it just gives me influence over the direction of the party in terms of like the party platform, which is like the mission statement. And the big thing is I vote on which candidates get the endorsement of the California Democratic Party.
That's huge.
It's a huge deal.
It's a big deal.
So that happened at the last state convention.
The kids would say NBD.
And what does that mean?
No big deal.
Oh, no big deal. But it's a BD.
But it means a BD. It's like
I
it's
see.
like
It's
NBD,
the opposite.
BD.
Kids are so
Lamau.
laughing.
Lamau.
Okay, Lamau.
Yeah.
It almost sounds Mandarin.
The
kids are speaking Mandarin nowadays. That's great.
Yeah.
And Carlos, what about you? What's your bias?
Well, what's my bias?
Yeah, like what's your political leanings?
My political leanings are at this point in this dystopian future that we are currently living in.
The Handmaid's Tale?
The Handmaid's Tale are I would like to move forward slightly to the left, away from anything having to do with anything that makes America great again in that sense. Besides that, I just want equal opportunity for those that work, and I want people to stop hating.
Just a good human being.
Just a good human
being. Okay, great. So, our research, where it comes from. I got my research from a number of places, and those include nonpartisan guides like Voter's Edge, runforoffice.org, polls from Emerson College, That's our alma mater. Yep, they put out polls now. Ballotpedia and Wikipedia. Political organizations like the California Democratic Party, the LA County Democratic Party, and local Democratic clubs. From progressive groups like Indivisible, the League of Women Voters, Climate Hawks Vote, Our Revolution, Democratic Socialists of America.
What's Climate Hawks Vote?
Climate Hawks Vote is a super PAC that supports candidates that vow to fight climate change.
That's a pretty spot on.
That's what they do.
That's a good name for that.
Yeah.
Great.
What else? And San Francisco's League of Pissed Off Voters.
That's a thing?
Yeah, they're actually a very well-informed organization. Media organizations like 89.3 KPCC Public Radio.
Can you say that again?
I don't think I'm contractually allowed to because
right?
So I'm a voice for KCRW, so I do that. KCRW is supported by the Big Blue Bus in Santa Monica. Come ride the Big Blue Bus. Daily Coast, Daily Coast's LA Forward, Politico, LA Times, the San Francisco Chronicle, Mercury News, Modesto Bee, and the Sacramento Bee.
But besides that, you have nothing to fall back on.
No, I'm just talking out my
very few sources that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Let's do this. Oh, something else to say.
Yes.
The California primary.
Let me guess. Is different.
It is different.
It is different.
Why is the California?
No, you tell me.
Okay. So the California. That's right. How much research have we done? We got a blank sheet of paper.
This is what I've done.
The California primary. We have a top 2 primary system.
Right.
So Adam. I think I might be butchering this last name. I'm sorry, Adam. Adam Nagorny. Would you say Nagorny?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Adam Nagorny from the New York Times.
Nagorny.
Explained it like this.
Yeah.
In the old days, each party nominated a candidate at a party convention or in the primary with the idea that one Republican and one Democrat would face off in the November election.
Yeah.
In theory, that would present voters with a choice of 2 governing philosophies, a Republican and a Democrat. That's the normal primary. But critics, including Republican California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, argued that the system was producing ideological extreme candidates who were forced to appeal to the most fervent wings of their party.
Well, it's funny you should mention that.
So the solution was an open, non-partisan primary.
Right.
So that's why we have a first and second place, which are given to the candidates that get the most votes, regardless of party affiliation.
Gotcha.
The idea is that it appeals to a wider swath of voters.
Perfect.
So that's our top two system.
Gotcha.
Another thing, in this official sample ballot that everyone gets in the mail,
Yeah.
they have in the back, you see these things?
The statements.
Yeah, these candidate
Sure,
statements.
sure.
Right. Now, when we did the voter guide, I think it was last year for the municipal, 2016.
26 years ago.
I remember we had hope. I remember going through these candidate statements and going, oh, well, such and such didn't have a candidate statement. They must not really care.
Right.
Or they just are not on top of their shit.
But what's the truth?
Candidate statements are really expensive.
Oh.
And it's based on how many voters are in your district as a candidate. Yeah. So, to give you an idea of how much, Carlos, why are you smiling right now? You're having like a good little smile over there.
I'm having a good little smile.
What's going on?
I just realized that Kenneth Mejia has a statement, so he's still a thing.
That's right.
Can't wait.
Kenneth Mejia is a Green Party candidate for Congress in my congressional district.
Again.
Again, yes,
yeah,
yes, he keeps running. And so these candidate statements cost a lot of money. Do you know how much?
Well, a lot of money.
What do you think would be like a lot of money as a candidate?
As a candidate, not as a human being, I would say.
Or is it? I mean, same thing.
$500.
$500.
Yeah.
Okay. To run for U.S. Congress
Yes.
and have a candidate statement,
Yes.
it's going to cost around $6,000 in English. Now, we live in Los Angeles, so you probably want to have it in English and Spanish. That's two candidate statements, so that's going to cost twice as much. That's going to be $12,000 running for Congress just to have a candidate statement.
Oh, look, there's only 2 people that did Spanish candidate statements.
Now, if you're running for, can you show me there are 3 candidates for sheriff? I just want to make a point here. How many?
For sheriff?
Yeah, you keep going. Yeah, you're on the right pages there.
Oh, it's there?
In the back.
Oh, look at that. I'm listed right there. Probably going to get rid of that noise later.
I like that noise. I like the page turn.
It's like,
Okay.
it smells like a new book.
Okay, so here's one candidate for
Yes,
sheriff.
yes.
But there's 2 other candidates for sheriff.
So he's the only one that has a statement.
Right.
Because he could afford the $6,000.
You know how much that costs? I called the LA County Registrar of Voters today
there you
to
go.
find out.
Yeah.
$100,500 in English. Double it to get it also in Spanish. So if you're running for an LA County-wide seat, it's going to cost over $200,000 just to get a candidate statement. And the same thing goes for all of those judges. That's part of the reason why we don't know anything about them. Not the only reason, but that's part of it.
Well, so it's $100,000 to get this statement in this book.
If you're running
For
for an
sheriff.
LA County seat.
LA County seat.
So that-
it's cheaper if it's Congress, but it's that.
Right.
It's really $100,000.
Just for English. So that's candidate statements. Oh, and then if you're running for a statewide race,
Yeah.
like governor,
Yeah.
that's $25 per word. And just as a side note to that, State Senator Ben Allen, who represents the West Side,
Yeah.
he introduced a bill called SB 935, which would have set a maximum amount that could be charged for the statements. And I called Senator Allen's office for an update, and the bill got held up in appropriations, and it died.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and actually, I emailed the staff member in charge of that to find out why it
Yeah.
died, and I'm going to hear back.
I think your email's going to die as well.
So those are the candidate statements. That's the official sample ballot. And
Hello,
now,
Adam Epstein.
And now we're going to jump in to our voter guide.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to start off with the meatiest one, and we're just going to go right through the ballot.
Okay.
So what's first on the ballot?
I think first on the ballot is going to be governor.
Why'd you hesitate? What happened?
Because the entire state of California is running for governor for There are 27 candidates, there are 27 candidates.
Just take that in. I'm going to help you out here.
Okay.
I see this look of, you look a little overwhelmed right now.
This is 27 people.
Yeah, I just see your face just dropping, your jaws opening.
This is why I'm happy that we're here, because if somebody walks in and is like, what?
All right, I'll tell you who we can actually focus on. And first, I just need to give a shout out to someone we should not focus on, a blockchain startup CEO named Thomas Jefferson Cares.
Wow.
We don't need to. I just.
If I have to hear the word blockchain one more time, Dave Jetty, I'm going to lose my shit.
You know, actually, blockchain could help make our voting system more secure.
It just sounds so startup.
I don't know exactly how we would do it, but I think it blockchain. Okay, so there's only a few candidates we actually need to focus on.
Yeah, because Nicholas Wildstar, who's a recording artist, I don't think that's his or her last name.
But have you heard his or her recent album?
Is it fantastic?
I don't know, but maybe it's good publicity. Now we're talking about it.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so the only ones we actually need to talk about. I mean, first of all, that was a big sound. I went to the first gubernatorial town hall debate in January at USC.
Yeah.
These were the 6 major candidates running for governor. There were
there
2
6.
Republicans
Yeah.
and 4 Democrats.
Can I write on this?
Yes.
So who were the 6?
Okay, so the 6 were Gavin Newsom,
Gotcha.
which is first on your list.
McConaughey.
We're going to keep scrolling down. We have Antonio Villaraigosa.
Give me the finger.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Travis Allen.
Is he a California Assemblyman business name?
And next, other side, John Chung.
John Chung. Oh, that's right. I remember this.
Delane Easton.
Yeah, fantastic.
And John Cox from this one.
Can I just say for the record, even though they are probably not going to win, Hawk Mikado might be my favorite name in this entire pamphlet.
I just love the way you say it.
Hawk Mikado. Mikado, by the way, this is your music cue for the episode, is one of my favorite operettas.
Is it?
Gilbert and Sullivan. Classic.
I think we found your bias.
Yeah, 3 little maids from school.
So of these 6, we have these 2 Republicans.
Pirates of Penzance. That's actually my favorite.
Oh, I watch The West Wing all the time, so I.
Then Mikado.
Okay.
Pirates of Penzance. I was in the Mikado, but Pirates is a much better. Kevin Kline's Pirates is like, it's the best.
That is really good.
It's
really good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know Travis Allen. He's one of the 2 Republicans. He is the Trump Republican. He's pro-wall. He's like the bully in all the high school '80s movies. He's that guy.
Like James Spader bully or like Biff bully.
More James Spader.
More James Spader. Okay.
More like Bradley Whitford in Nerds.
That is a deep cut and it's perfect.
So we're gonna get rid of Travis Allen. He's a jerk.
Travis Allen's gone.
John Cox.
Yeah.
John Cox is the trying to run as the pre-Trump Republican of I'm a businessman. We need to run the state like a business, completely ignoring the fact that that's what we are supposed to have right now. John Cox is also pro-wall, and he is appealing to the moderate Californians, and we can get rid of him.
He's a dick.
He also, when I was doing a report after that town hall debate, he jumped into my report.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll file that video in there.
Yeah.
Who else? So now we have the 4 Democrats.
Right.
Gavin Newsom.
I see what you did there.
Gavin Newsom, current lieutenant governor, former mayor of San Francisco. He is by far and away the front runner.
He's probably going to win.
So we can say confidently in a top 2 system, Gavin Newsom is moving on.
He's top 2. He's moving on.
So now we're just dealing with who's going to get second place. John Chung is the current state treasurer, and he had a promising start, but didn't really come out strong on the issues, and actually at the town hall debate said he was not for universal health care for California with the current bill, which is called SB 562. And if you're going to be a leader of the 5th largest economy in the world, I think you need to put out solid policy proposals and not just say no to things. So I say no to John Chung.
No to John Chung. Is there? I don't know if this is a vicious joke by Mike Garrity, but is there a candidate named? Can I say this out loud?
Try it.
No, can I say that? Is that an inside joke?
I don't know.
Mike Garrity, I see what you wrote here, but I don't even know if that's a thing.
We don't know what that is.
It sounds inappropriate.
So we're down to, who do we got left?
We have Delaney Easton, Antonio Villaraigosa, and
Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, so Gavin's, he's moving on.
Now, the public really is looking at deciding between Villaraigosa and John
Antonio,
Cox.
former mayor of Los Angeles, correct?
Yeah.
Previously to Eric Garcetti.
So this is where our voter guide splits from the California voting public. The voting public is talking about John Cox versus Villaraigosa, which
What?
yeah,
Oh,
because
for the final spot.
for the second spot.
Okay.
I'm looking at Delane Easton or Delane. I mean that's so Delane Easton.
Yes.
She has been an elected official for about 30 years. She started in city council, then went to state assembly, and then was superintendent of California public schools.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the Bernie Sanders of California. She's the one that said budgets are statement of values, that California is first in per prison spending and 39th in per pupil spending in education. Budgets are statements of values. So I'm a big Delane Easton fan.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Side note, Plumpjack, which is the phrase that we were afraid to say, is Gavin Newsom's winery restaurant company, and according to our friend Mike, is amazing.
Oh, great. We should go check.
Plumpjack. It does sound inappropriate, though.
It really does.
I feel like that's something you could buy on Amazon that comes in a nondescript box. Plumpjack.
KCRW is supported by Plumpjack.
Plumpjack
Winery. So my vote is for Delane Easton because I'm a progressive. I think Delane is wonderful.
And just to be clear, you're not feeling. And so obviously we got rid of Chang because Cox because he's a Republican, which I think might bite. I think Northern California, there's more Republicans, right, in there.
Northern California.
Yeah,
the one that wants to secede from California.
Yeah. The why are we not hot on Antonio, or is it just because you're hotter on Delaney?
No, that's a great question. There are 3 reasons why I don't like Antonio Villaraigosa for governor. One, he worked for Herbalife where he made millions of dollars. Now he said in this gubernatorial town hall debate, he said he thanked John Chung for the courage to stand against a universal health care bill for California. I think it takes courage to actually stand for something and not just say we're not for this universal health care bill. It was a weak comment that he made. And Antonio Villaraigosa, if you follow the money, has made millions of dollars with Herbalife, which is a multi-level marketing pharmaceutical company.
What?
Yeah. Another reason, he supports the Cadiz Water Project, which is a plan to drain the water from an aquifer underneath the Mojave Desert.
What's an aquifer?
It's like an underwater lake. Aquifer?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, it was an inside joke that I missed.
No, it's aquifer, dick for.
Okay. And then, what else? Oh yeah, and so if you want to find out more about that, you can go to this link. It's bit.ly/follow Antonio's money. bit.ly/follow Antonio's money. And that just links to a Google search result of Villaraigosa, Cadiz, and Brockman.
So we're going.
And then that was it. No, I'm good.
We're going Delaney and
Delane
and Gavin for now.
Yes.
Right.
So you only vote for one.
Right.
So Gavin Newsom's going to win. So I would vote for who you want to be second. Yeah, that's true. So my vote's for Delane Easton. Who are you going to vote for?
I'm going to vote for Delane Easton.
Really?
No, I'll vote for Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I think I'll vote for Gavin.
But because I like Delane a lot.
And
so.
you know what? And I just want to add that Gavin Newsom, it's pretty great to have the frontrunner be very progressive, and the only one that's to the left of him is the Bernie Sanders of California.
Right.
So.
What about Governor Light?
Governor Light, Lieutenant Governor. Do you know what this job does?
It runs for governor in 2 to 6 years.
That's basically it. Yeah. So the
Who's the current lieutenant governor?
Gavin Newsom. So the front runners are 2 former Obama-appointed ambassadors.
Sign me up.
One is Jeff Bleich. He was the ambassador to Australia.
Yeah.
And he has been on a number of commissions.
Yeah.
And this is his first run at elected office. And the other one is I apologize. I might mess her name up.
Just David Fennell was really easy.
Alani Kounalakis. And she was Obama's ambassador to Hungary. She's also an author, a businesswoman, and a Democratic donor activist.
Kounalakis.
Mm-hmm. So my pick is Jeff Bleich. I just think he has more experience.
Yeah.
But both are good options. Now I want to add in there. This is if I was not an elected delegate to the state party, someone I might be considering would be Gail McLaughlin.
Oh, okay. Community organizer / educator.
Have you heard of the Richmond Progressive Alliance?
I have not.
So Chevron
Yes.
had its clause in Richmond City Council. All of the City Council elected officials were funded by Chevron, which meant all the policies being put out were helping Chevron to the detriment of the people in the city of Richmond. Oh. So a group of candidates got together and ran as a team a slate, and they were called the Richmond Progressive Alliance. And their whole platform was running without Chevron money to take the city back from Chevron.
And?
They won.
Boom.
And now the mayor, who's Gail McLaughlin, is running for lieutenant governor.
I like it. But we're going with Jeff and Eleni.
Yeah, Jeff is good.
Either or, but we're picking Jeff. Right?
Officially, I'm saying Jeff. I also am a huge fan of Gail McLaughlin.
Schmolitics endorses Jeff.
Blaze.
Blaze.
All right, next up, what do we got?
Hashtag Blaze. Secretary of State. Vote for one.
Secretary of State. So I took a deep dive into what this job is.
Yeah.
In episode 53 of Schmolitics, we had an interview with Ruben Major, who's one of the candidates running for the seat.
Great.
And we also talked about how Russia influences elections, which is super important because it talks about the job.
Yeah.
So the current person holding the seat is Alex Padilla. He was a former assembly member. Now he's the Secretary of State. Oh, and by the way, the Secretary of State, they have like 2 jobs. It's very different than the, U.S. Secretary of State.
Right.
The California Secretary of State is like, they have like administrative tasks, like overseeing business filings and healthcare records. They have to make sure the California Constitution is safe. So I guess they check on it every morning.
Physically,
Exactly. To make sure it's good, right? It's going to be a future Oceans movie that distills the California Constitution. The other half of the job is overseeing the state's election systems to ensure that our elections are safe, secure, fair, and accurate.
Yeah.
That's a really big job. So, the short answer is Ruben Major. I like. He's a progressive. He brings up some really good points because when you're running as a candidate, you get to decide, what the issue should be. But Alex Padilla has done a great job to expand access. Yeah, he supports access for immigrant groups, and Alex Padilla is definitely the well-funded establishment candidate. Yeah. But he's also doing a really good job. So I hope Alex hires Ruben Major for his staff.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm our vote, Alex Padilla for Secretary of State.
Alex Padilla, Secretary of State. Now, what about the controller?
State controller. Yeah, what is the state controller? Do you know what the state controller does?
Well, there's just like, no, I don't.
We're doing a MIDI box?
No, I was gonna well, that's deep. I like that. A MIDI controller. I was going for like a remote, just a game controller. But that totally works.
So the state controller is the chief fiscal officer for California.
Oh, but then what's the treasurer?
They handle the state debt and bonds, and they sit with the state controller on panels to manage California's major pension funds.
So
they work together.
Okay, they work together. So it's a two.
But I think the state controller also does more of the audit. They do audits.
Okay.
So they make sure everything's running well.
And we have three candidates on the ballot.
If you want to find out more about what the controller does, I did an interview with the Los Angeles City Controller, Ron Galperin, who's was a very informative conversation. You can go back and listen to that episode. We talk about public banks also. Okay, so state controller.
Yes.
Betty Yee currently has the job, and San Francisco's League of Pissed Off Voters described it this way. They say she's been an honest and capable civil servant who's not afraid of rocking the boat when necessary. Her challengers are a conservative Republican and a cool anti-police brutality campaigner from the Peace and Freedom Party who doesn't appear to have much of a campaign.
Yeah, no. I mean, when I saw that the other two candidates were Peace and Freedom and a Republican guy who sounds like a porn producer, I'm good. I'm by default, even without taking into account that Betty Yee seems like.
Production sounds. Now, that was an actor?
Yeah, that was
a paid actor making that sound?
You tell her to shut the fuck up. The Betty Yee is the way to go.
Betty for...
Betty T. Yee for Controller of California.
Check.
So Treasurer.
The Treasurer. Yeah. So the Treasurer, the top two Democrats in this race are Fiona Ma and Vivek Viswanathan.
Vivek?
He actually, on this video, he said Vivek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe we knew Vivek.
Yeah, we knew Vivek. Yeah.
Vivek Gumbar.
I think so. It sounds like his last name.
Yeah, so Vivek?
I think he said Vivek. Maybe it's with the accent. Maybe it's Vivek. I'm not sure.
Vivek and Vivek?
When someone says they're... You know what? I'm not going to ask that question. That's a dumb question. Okay, so Fiona Ma is the incumbent. She's the establishment pick. she's kind of like the status quo. So I think she's likely to win because it's one of those things where no one really pays attention to the seats, and they'll just go, sure, the incumbent, why not? Vivek Viswanathan.
She's the incumbent.
Yeah.
But
and she also has the support of Kamala Harris and SEIU, which is an incredibly powerful labor union.
In the ballot, though, just so there's no confusion for people that go to vote, it just says CPA taxpayer representative.
Oh. Am I wrong that she's not the incumbent?
I just want to make sure.
I could have sworn she was the incumbent.
I just want to make sure.
You know what? She might not be the incumbent. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll just, you know what? I'm going to do the audio the other way and just say it just in case. Okay, so the top two Democrats are Fiona Ma and Vivek Viswanathan.
Yeah.
Fiona Ma is the establishment pick. She's kind of like the status quo. She has the endorsements from Senator Kamala Harris and the powerful SEIU labor union.
Gotcha.
Vivek Viswanathan is the 30-year-old former policy advisor to Hillary Clinton. He was a special advisor to Governor Jerry Brown's office, and
I'm with him.
He also is vowing not to take any corporate money or PAC money or special interest money, so that he says the treasurer's only accountable to the people. And he did a Forrest Gump run across California. It was like a PR stunt and raising money. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for him.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Notable mention.
Yes.
The Peace and Freedom Party candidate is a guy named what's his name?
Kevin Aiken.
Thank you.
Yeah, retired steam engineer.
So Kevin Aiken,
from 1853, apparently.
Kevin Aiken is in favor of a public bank for the state, which we really, really need. And a public bank is basically a bank that is run to help people in government. It's not unlike a corporate bank, which takes fees and costs the state a lot of money. A public bank would just help us, help the government. So that's a super important thing that we need, and I like that he's bringing that issue up.
Attorney General, vote for one. I've got Dave Jones.
Who else you got?
Stephen Bailey, Xavier Becerra. It's Javier Becerra, but there's an X and like X-Men and all that stuff. And this guy is never late, Eric Early.
So let's cross out Steve Bailey because he's the Republican.
Okay.
And anyone else on there is Republican?
Yes, Eric Early.
You can cross him out.
Too late, buddy.
So who do we have left?
We have Davy Jones' locker.
Hey, yar, David Jones.
And
what? So good. Hey, yar. By the way, I do voiceover work. I don't know if you know this. I'm a paid professional voice actor. Hey, yar, David Jones is running for Attorney General.
Do you know what
the
lady and I did on Sunday? We went to the beach, went to Newport Beach, and we're driving back. And it was a beautiful end of the day, and the sun's starting to go down, and she's in the passenger seat, kind of like getting that like post beach, and so we're playing something. Go ahead, fix it.
You got it.
Thank you.
You got it on your face.
Thank you. Oh, I did?
I got you.
Is it good?
I got you.
Can we get hair and makeup? Do you have any hair and makeup people that we can? We're going through the songs, and believe it or not, she has this really cool playlist that her dad made her that's like cheesy 90s pop rock stuff, and one of the songs is Smash Mouth's Monkeys cover. What is it? I'm a Believer, right? And so I was like, hey, have you ever heard the Monkeys? And she's like, no. And so we started playing Monkeys, and the entire drive from Newport up, I listened to pretty much every song the Monkeys ever wrote, and it was such a memory lane blast, and it was amazing. And Davy Jones was the lead singer of the Monkeys, and so every time I hear Davy Jones, I'm thinking either Pirates of the Caribbean or the Monkeys, and it's a weird middle ground of juxtaposition.
He's basically running on that platform,
and we're going to vote for him because
that's
Dave
the
Jones.
only reason why I'm going to vote for him.
Great.
This is kind of, I would say this is pretty close to a win-win situation.
You're going to play some Monkeys on the mid list, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Is this song okay?
Last Train O'Clock. Yeah.
Okay. So the Attorney General is the top lawyer for the state. Javier Becerra he's one of the Attorney Generals that have been suing the Trump administration for issue after issue, like immigration.
Not a bad guy.
No. Becerra's doing a good job. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a win-win situation.
Because he's probably gonna make it to the.
What? Oh, of course. I mean, both of these guys are right. Well,
Yeah.
if you're voting the Democrats, so it's highly likely both of these gentlemen are going to be moving on to the general election in November. The main difference here is, for me, it's this: is that Dave Jones, who's currently the insurance commissioner, he's the terming out, and we'll cover that seat in a minute. He's kind of like the Sanders-style progressive. He's not taking corporate money. He doesn't take money from insurance companies, big oil, or big tobacco. Becerra does. Dave Jones is also against the death penalty. Now, as the Attorney General, he still has to enforce it because that's the law, but that's important to start setting those values as high as we can. So I'm for Dave Jones. Becerra is not a bad choice.
Great. I love it. State Insurance Commissioner, vote for one.
Okay, so the State Insurance Commissioner, I didn't know what this job did. So
did you find out?
I actually did.
My man.
When I was at the California Democratic Party State Convention, I interviewed one of the candidates for this office, and I said, what does this office do? And that was Ricardo Lara, who's running. He's currently a state senator, and he's running for insurance commissioner. So,
is that a step down, or is it a lateral move in politics?
I think it's a move up.
Okay.
I think it's a statewide office.
Right, as opposed to a senator.
A state senator, which is like a district office.
Oh, I see.
We got some sirens down here in Hollywood Boulevard.
We are literally at. Anyways.
So now, Mercury News writes about this office that no state official outside of the governor touches the lives of the average Californian more than the insurance commissioner.
That is the most boring yet shockingly, unexpected stat I've ever heard in my life.
Right? They set the rates for everything, and they make sure that insurance companies are insuring the things they're supposed to be doing. When we have self-driving cars, they make sure there's like insurance programs for them.
Can I tell you?
What's up?
As a new self-driving car person.
Wait, you have a self-driving car?
She has a self-driving car, and I get to drive it.
What do you mean she's a self-driving car?
She has a Tesla, so it's really terrifying.
You've been on the autopilot?
Oh yeah, no. She uses it religiously. I'm terrified of it, and maybe it's because I'm older, but I'm terrified.
Well, that's like elevators used to be, operated by a human being,
yeah.
Right?
Same thing.
Planet Money, I think it was Planet Money, did an episode about self-driving cars, and they.
Did you see the Tesla that drove into the cop car?
No, I didn't.
Not in person.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about it?
No.
I think it was yesterday. Tesla on autopilot just literally went and drove into a parked car.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can play this song, but that Modest Mouse song.
Yeah.
I drove my car into a cop car the other day. It reminded me of that.
I could see why.
Yeah, but I'm terrified. I'm terrified of the autopilot. She rags on me, but I'll press the button and I'll just be like.
I mean, what does she do? Does she hits the button and she sits back in the seat?
Oh no, she gets in the back, takes a nap.
Yeah.
No, you can't leave the chair because of the sensor.
Yeah.
And I would say every 30 to 40 seconds, it'll be touch the steering wheel to make sure that everything's fine and you're good.
Even if I have cruise control on, I start getting anxious.
Oh, I can't.
I don't know how you would.
I can't.
It's also
it's like saying we're control freaks.
But it's also like saying you're not in control, but get ready to take control.
Yeah.
It's just leave me in control.
For me, hands on the wheel, I focus, and not that we zone out when we're driving, but we just hit this, this is what I'm doing.
You zone in.
Zone in.
So the insurance commissioner.
You hear that eagle sound here? Zone in.
You're just creating more. I'm going to do it, but you are creating more work for me.
Can I get a Cyrillic song? Anyways.
Okay, so the race for insurance commissioner, it's between, who do we have down there?
We have Steve Poizner, Ricardo Lara, Nathalie Rizzi, and Asif Mahmoud.
Okay, so do you see any Republicans there?
I see no Republicans, but I do see Steve Poizner with no party affiliation.
Steve Poizner is the front runner for this race.
Oh.
He was the insurance commissioner before.
Oh, but he's not incumbent. Unless he might be, they're just not listening.
No, Dave Jones is the incumbent. But he's termed out.
Hello, yeah.
Right. So Steve Poizner was the insurance commissioner from 2007 to 2011. Mm-hmm. Fun fact, he was a Republican, and he ran for governor of California in 2010.
I see where this is going.
He worked on John Kasich's presidential campaign in 2016. And Mercury News endorsed him, saying he stood up to big insurance companies that tried to gouge policyholders, which is us, while making sure the industry made enough to cover claims, make a profit, and remain in the market.
Remember when we thought John Kasich would be an awful presidential candidate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, he did lose.
Yeah, but like, remember?
I mean, as a president. I mean, as a president.
Yeah, as a president. That'd be terrible. He'd be so bad for America.
So Poizner's running unaffiliated, but he's basically
he's a Republican.
He's like a moderate conservative Republican that has a track record of doing this job well. There's State Senator Ricardo Lara.
But
what's that?
2007, 2011. I feel like we were. That was in the middle of the recession, so I guess it affected us all. But then we kind of came out of it, right?
We came out of it. Yeah. California's doing okay now.
They're doing okay. I'm still in debt, but.
We also have Ricardo Lara.
Yeah.
He co-authored SB 562, which is the universal health care bill for California.
Yeah.
So he's like he's very much on my radar, except he hasn't really done a whole lot else that I know anything about. And I think he's kind of a moderate Democrat that is trying to get the progressive vote, my vote, by authoring SB 562. Because he hasn't really done anything much with that bill since it passed out of his chamber. So I think he's just kind of a career politician. And then there's Asif Mahmood, who is a doctor. He's a Pakistani-born pulmonologist. He's also Muslim. Some of the things he said, he wants to see healthcare for all, not healthcare for most. He wants funding for mental health services, or better funding for mental health services. Believes technology can be better. And you kind of see where I'm going with this. I'm already talking about him way more.
So definitely Steve Poizner.
Yeah.
No, so Schmolitics endorses Asif Mahmood. You really like him.
I do.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm glad he's getting some traction.
Member for the State Board of Equalization, 3rd District, vote for one. There's a handful of candidates here. Please walk me through it.
Okay. Do you know what the seat does?
It equalizes boards.
And who do you think would be the best? Okay, so that's actually a loaded question about what this job does. First of all, they serve 4-year terms.
Yeah.
They have a limit of 2 terms, so they can work for a maximum of 8 years. But don't worry, they make $131,000 a year. I actually found across the board this common sentiment about this job, the Board of Equalization. So the League of Pissed Off Voters described it like this. The State Board of Equalization is the only elected tax board in the country, which seems problematic. Last year, the BOE was stripped of most of its powers and employees, because 96%, by the way, of their employees, because an audit found it to be a total clusterfuck. Nepotism, elected members interfering in staff work, staff being pressured into political activities, shady expense accounts, rumors that rulings could be influenced by hiring the right lawyer, etc.
Oh boy.
Meaning there's more.
Right.
It's also
That's usually what it said. Okay.
It's also duplicative of the franchise tax board. So it's now lost its powers, and it's basically a cush landing spot for termed out politicians.
Oh.
Enter Scott Svanken.
Scott Svanken.
So Scott Svanken is an active Democrat in the party, meaning anytime I go to some events that's pretty big, he's there. He was on the LA Community College Board, which is kind of like, I kind of see that as like the farm team for future elected officials.
So he's getting called up, even though this is typically a different kind of politician.
Right, but it's still, you're still in politics, you're still in the game. Okay. And I interviewed him at the convention, so here we can listen to a little bit of what he said. You know, he comes across as a nice guy.
I like it.
I know, but they all come across as nice people.
Do they though?
Most of them.
Did you?
I mean, Donald Trump in person might be magnanimous.
Oh, did you see that clip where, because sometimes I like to look at the right Twitter, the wrong Twitter, but on the right.
Okay.
And people are gushing over, what's his kid's name? McGruffin, Tonkin, Alistair Crowley. What's his?
I'm not on. I barely use Twitter.
What's his little Trump's kid's name?
Oh yeah, Barron.
Barron. So basically, he's sitting there while he's signing the bill this morning.
Yeah.
And Barron's like, they're gushing.
It's like nudging him.
They're gushing because then Trump's
like,
and grabs him and shows 1.3 seconds of humanity, and therefore Donald Trump is the sweetest person in the world.
Maybe Donald Trump read Machiavelli's treatise.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's doing the ruler better to be feared than loved. Maybe he's just a really smart guy. Maybe he could. Maybe he could be a good president. We just need to be patient.
United States Senator.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
Said Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
So this
again, 32 candidates.
Yeah.
32 candidates.
They smell blood in the water.
Oh, that's true. Why do we have an opening?
Well, okay. Senator Dianne Feinstein is running for re-election.
Yes.
This would be her 5th full term in the U.S. Senate. She started as senator in 1992, and she did say this last year. She said that she thinks Donald Trump can be a good president, and that we need to be patient. And progressives have come out and put their hat in the ring, saying that she's a moderate, that she's out of touch with progressive California politics, and a lot of them refer back to that statement. This is, I wrote too much on this race, so at some point you're gonna have to just tell me, like, move ahead.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so
I think you need to give me the top 3 here, and then we need to select, because we're not voting for Rocky De La Fuente. Cause it's gonna
well, actually, that's funny.
No,
Rocky,
we're not.
Rocky De La Fuente might make it to the top 2.
So
don't you dare apply that song to a Republican.
His name is Rocky. There's like 4 Rockies. Rocky.
By the way,
Rocky Marciano.
Do you think Rocky Balboa is a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm pretty sure that Sylvester Stallone is a Republican.
He's probably a Republican.
Yeah.
No, but Rocky.
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
The person.
Yeah.
It's like when people get mad and they're like, Han Solo would never. Guy. I was talking with Adam Epstein yesterday about this, and it was like Han Solo would never. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's not a real person.
Fiction. Story.
Literally.
Story.
Han Solo would take a shit on your desk, and he'd be like, yep, I just wrote it. Han Solo took a shit on your desk. There, it happened.
Speaking of taking a shit on your desk,
yes,
there are a lot of candidates for U.S. Senate.
Yes.
The only ones we really need to pay attention to.
It's like the only ones that we need to pay attention are.
So basically, okay. So Emerson College did a poll to find out how that race is going, and they found that Feinstein is clearly the front runner.
Yeah.
She, in terms of money, has raised over $9 million,
which is enough to buy an ad in this fucking thing. It's like your old. Remember when you did theater in high school?
Yeah, it's like the old pants. Like the old
ad? It's $43 for half a page.
For half a page.
Ginny's Ballet congratulates Melissa for her role in South Pacific.
Well, Carlos, your parents must really love you. They got a full page color ad there saying congratulations, Carlos.
I remember asking my dad, because he owned a bunch of businesses, and be like, "Hey, do you want to take an ad out in the play guide?" And my dad was like, "How much is it?" I was like, "It's like $50."
He just stared.
I was like, "Sorry, never mind."
That sounds, by the way, was a death stare.
Yeah, it was a death stare.
Okay, so Emerson College did this poll, and they found, this is what they found out. They said that Feinstein gets 59% of the vote right now, but when they asked people if they would vote for her again, 36% said, yeah, we'll re-elect her. 47% said it was time for someone else. Which means the field is actually, like, people want someone new. 47% of people are interested in someone new.
Let's give it to them.
But the problem is,
Jack's gonna give it to you.
All the candidates that they listed all have the same 4 to 6% vote.
So it's going to be Dianne Feinstein and who else?
Dianne Feinstein, and it really comes down to Kevin De Leon or Rocky De La Fuentes, who we're hearing is also a contender.
I don't exactly know what you're going to say, but I'm leaning towards Kevin De Leon.
Yeah. Okay. So Kevin De Leon is the current Senate president for California.
Yeah.
He supported SB 562, the universal health care bill. He has a very compelling story, and here's something. So Dianne Feinstein, this is 2 decades ago, was preaching border security and carefully framing her opposition to the popular anti-immigrant measure called Prop 187. While she was doing that, Kevin De Leon was organizing a massive protest against it. So that could
be fun.
Dianne Feinstein is getting pushed to the left. She's now saying she's for universal health care. She has done an awful lot of really good things.
And
she created Joshua Tree, for God's sakes.
Like 147,000 years ago. Like she literally was like
she created the national
desert and spiders.
She helped make it a national park, but yes, I mean that's awesome.
And I don't want to play ageism, but she's 80.
Sure, but no one talks about ageism with Notorious RBG, RGB,
because she's a
RBG.
goddamn national treasure.
But that's what I'm saying, like
Sir, she is a goddamn national treasure.
I'm just saying this ageism gets selectively applied when it suits opponents.
Do you think she's great?
I really think she does a better job than progressives say she's doing, but she's going to go on to the general, and I do like Kevin De Leon.
I love it.
I also want to give a shout out to Pat Harris, who we interviewed on the show, and we also talked about that race. Pat Harris is a really phenomenal progressive, and I hope he runs again. But yes, for this race, I'm voting for Kevin De Leon. National treasure.
I know we're not going to talk about it in depth, but I just really wanted to go through and you don't have to agree with this or not.
Yeah,
but for Congress, there are 3 on the ballot, 34th district. I don't care. Just do not vote for Kenneth Mejia. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking into the microphone. From personal experience, he's just. And I know you have to toe the party line.
Well, he's not. He's in the Green
Good.
Party.
He's a dick, and like I can't get over his petulant manner, and I want nothing to do with him. He's probably gonna get elected now, and then I'm gonna all of a sudden get evicted.
Not gonna.
But Jimmy Gomez or Angela Elise McCardle is something that we can talk about in private with you guys if you want to know more about it down the road.
That we had Kenneth on the show. Now that's Carlos's opinion. That's not my opinion.
Yeah, it's my opinion, not his.
It's Carlos's opinion.
It's like Twitter.
It's just we're just tweeting on the same video screen right now.
Exactly.
Right. And Jimmy Gomez is, I support Jimmy Gomez for that seat.
Oh, then I support Jimmy Gomez.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Gomez is doing a good job.
Yeah,
no, Jimmy Gomez is doing a good job.
Stick with Jimmy Gomez.
Yeah.
State senator.
And by the way, that's for 1 congressional district in Los Angeles. Jimmy Gomez solidly holds that seat.
State senator is going to take a long time.
I'm skipping that.
Yeah,
that's also because. By the way, this is what I'm saying. We're skipping Congress, State Senate, and Assembly. But if you have questions about your candidates, message us.
The joke is 30th district is only 1 person on the ballot. So Holly Mitchell, congratulations.
She's also doing a great job.
She's doing a great job. Member of the State Assembly, are we doing that?
Nope, skipping that.
Great. And then so we're doing the judges.
Judges.
All right, let's bang these out. I really think that we have. Did you say who are we going with?
Oh, right. Okay. So judges, here's the deal. There are 11 races for Superior Court judges that we're voting for in LA County. And it's weird, right? Mm-hmm. It's weird that we're voting for judges.
It's super weird. Like I don't understand it, but fine.
Now, something you should know is most judges are actually appointed, and only some of them are elected. Now, this race is important, but it's just to say that it's not like we vote for every single judge.
Right.
It's just this select group that for some reason we vote for. I don't understand why. But that's a good thing, because it takes some of the pressure off of us.
Yeah.
Now, for the judges, it's really hard to find out information on these judges because they're not really public figures.
They shouldn't actually be really public figures.
Right. I mean, a lot of them are attorneys, and they're not obliged to be in the public eye as much.
I would say most of them say either attorney or prosecutor in their blurb.
Right. And remember we found out about their occupations before?
Yep.
Right. It's something like they can decide whatever. If they tried one case on like Child Protective Services, they can put down that they're a child defender, but they only did one case out of like 500, but they can say that. So the occupations are tough. So anyway, I used 3 different voter guides. I used the LA Times editorial board, I used the LA County Democratic Party, and I used the East Area Progressive Democrats. So that means we have a center representative, a center left, and a left.
So basically, we have essentially three options, right?
Well, 3 different voter guides.
3 different voter guides. Why don't we give them the LA Times, and I feel like the LACDP is kind of in the middle, right?
Yeah, LA County Democratic Party and East Area Progressive Democrats are both left of center.
So why don't we give them the LA Times recommendation, and then the other recommendation, and then what you think is best?
I mean, my opinions are only based on what I read here.
Right.
So what we're going to do...
What spoke to you better?
It's tough, right? Because you have the progressive organizations basically in agreement, and then you have the LA Times.
And there's not a lot of overlap.
There's like 3 overlaps. 3 judges that overlap.
What are those overlaps?
The overlaps are Wendy Segal for office number 20.
I love Sons of Anarchy. Yeah.
Who else? Office number 63,
Malcolm
Malcolm.
Mackey.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Office number 67,
Yeah. Tell me it's Annika.
Maria L.
Maria Lucy Armendariz.
Mhm.
Great.
No. Office number 118,
Yeah. Troy.
David Diamond.
David Diamond. I'm David Diamond.
And that's it.
Joseph
Those are the
by
over-
day.
Oh, and
Judges
office
by
number 126.
Yeah.
Renee Caldwell
Gilbertson.
Gilbertson.
All right, great. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 out of the 11.
So there's 6 that don't overlap.
So hit me with 4. What do you got for 4?
Office number 4, LA Times says Coletta,
Yeah.
and the left-leaning political groups say Sauceda?
Sauceda.
Sauceda.
Now here's the thing that we talked about this for a split second.
Yeah.
So the LA Times, you would start to think, yes, they're journalists, their job is the truth, but what's the possibility here?
So this is their editorial board. So it's straight up. It is by definition. It is their opinion. It's their editorial.
Right.
Now they are doing research. One hopes, but at the end of the day, it is still their opinion versus another opinion.
And the progressive,
but it's also an informed opinion.
right? And the progressives say,
The progressives. I mean, I would imagine they have these judges might come around to a political meeting and say hello, do a Q&A.
Right.
Maybe some of the people in this group know who that attorney is that's running for this seat. So it's just tough. It's a very small circle.
so who do they say?
The LA Times says Coletta, and they said, So the LA Times says Coletta, and then the East Area Progressive Democrats and LA County Democratic Party say Sauceda.
Veronica?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that because I like to have a woman in there, and also she's the current Superior Court Commissioner for the City of LA.
There you go.
That's fantastic. So
Okay.
we'll go Veronica for 4. For
Okay.
16, what do you got?
For 16, LA Times says Michelle?
Sidney Jane Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the political groups say Hunter.
Hubert? Oh, no, Patty Hunter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go with Patty Hunter
Okay.
because no disrespect to Sidney Jane Michelle, but she's the prosecutor for Redondo Beach. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Someone stole a bike.
Well, I mean, I think that's actually what that office is, though. It's for Redondo Beach.
Perfect. Someone steals no more bikes. Office number 60?
60, we have LA Times says Hancock, and political groups say Cho.
So, do you know the song Let Her Be Hancock as well? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, thank you. Ben, which one?
Hancock and Cho.
Progressive say Cho?
Yeah.
I would like to go Cho.
Okay. I'm seeing and then 71.
Yeah.
LA Times says Berger,
Yeah.
and progressives no endorsement. Berger is a somewhat tough criminal prosecutor,
Yeah.
says the LA Times. He's a vocal judge and he's a tough criminal prosecutor.
Yeah.
And I am not a fan of that description. I think California, we are number 1 in prison spending. We actually have a very aggressive criminal justice system,
Yeah.
and I do not want to hear about judges as being tough on crime as a good thing right now.
Let's get that's a 0 Berger from David Berger.
So I'm going to say no endorsement.
I mean, by default. So what's wrong with Danielle Gibbons?
I don't know anything about him, and it feels weird to vote for someone I know nothing about.
Her. Okay.
See
fine.
what I mean?
Yeah. That was. All right. So no endorsement.
All right, 113.
Stephen Schreiner, Michael Ribbons, and Javier Perez. That's how you spell Javier, by the way. Xavier.
We have Ribbons and Perez.
Yes. And
Ribbons,
so
LA Times, Perez.
we're going with
Political
Perez.
groups. Okay.
And 146. Armando Duron and Emily Teresa Spear.
LA Times says Spear, and political groups say Duran.
Can I just tell you, there's a very, very, there's a very palpable through line of the LA Times recommending the non-minority candidates.
And then there's also a palpable through line of the political groups
Yes.
representing the minority,
Yeah,
or not necessarily the
Not
minority,
necessarily,
but the Hispanic, Latin,
or the
Spanish
female
speaking.
candidates. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Interesting.
So just to recap, number 4, office number 4, Veronica Salceda, office number 16, Patricia Hunter, office number 20, Wendy Siegel, office number 60, Tony Cho, office number 63, Malcolm Mackey, 67, Maria Lucia Armendariz, number 71, Nobody, Love Me Better, 113, Javier Perez. 118, David Diamond. 126, Renee Caldwell-Gilbertson. And 146, Armando Duron.
They've been judged.
I just wanted to say those names with a Spanish accent just for you.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that.
They know. So moving on.
What do we have?
We are
coming down the home stretch. We're now at county positions.
Yep. So superintendent, do we have that? Yes.
Yeah.
Superintendent of Public Instruction. We have Lily Espinosa Pulaski, Stephen Ireland, Tony K. Thurmond, and Marshall Tuck.
This race is between Assembly Member Tony Thurmond
Yeah.
and Charter School CEO Marshall Tuck.
But no Stephen Ireland.
Stephen Ireland.
He's not going to make it.
Is he? No, he's not been around.
Right.
No.
So Tony Thurmond and Marshall Tuck.
Okay. This is how. Oh, by the way, this job. Like, what does this job do? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
The superintendent can make a difference by pressing the board and the legislature to make needed changes.
Yeah.
They get to use the post's bully pulpit to argue for reforms, investigating school performance, compliance with the law, and interpreting how certain laws should be carried out in the district. The reason why there's a definition is because there's also a Secretary of Education that the governor appoints. So it's like, what do we have both of these jobs?
Yeah.
Basically, Secretary of Education is more important, but this position still has power.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, Tony Thurmond can, the LA Times has a really good summary. Tony Thurmond cannot be easily stereotyped as someone who will blindly support unions over all else, just as Tuck shouldn't be pigeonholed as someone who will support charter schools no matter what.
Gotcha.
But that's kind of how the race is being defined. I mean, how much info do you want here?
No, I think you should tell me who you want. Who you think is the best candidate.
Tony Thurmond,
Yeah.
I really like. He has a very compelling story. He's the son of a Panamanian immigrant mother who died when he was 6. He landed in the foster care system and went through school with the assistance of a bunch of government programs. And so he believes that education saves lives. That's what he keeps saying. Education saves lives.
I didn't know that Strom Thurmond was Panamanian.
Yeah. You wouldn't know it from the look of him or the sound of him.
Strom Thurmond would have. He's dead, right?
Yeah.
Would have been his like great grandfather. But yes.
Yeah. Also from different area of Panama.
The northern.
Yeah. Tony Thurmond wants to provide more STEM education. He really wants to focus on chronic absenteeism, which is a big problem for state education. And Marshall Tuck made a name for himself in LA by turning around a high-poverty, low-performing charter school.
Ooh.
And then Villaraigosa, as mayor, recruited him to improve the schools improve the school that's inside of a conventional public school. Basically, Villaraigosa asked Tuck to help with the the LA public schools.
That's a pretty baller title, by the way.
What
do you do? I'm the schools improvement director.
Yeah, schools improvement director.
Which schools? The schools.
Yeah, that occupation, schools improvement director. That is a consulting firm right there.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
Yeah.
County Tony Thurmond.
Yeah, what do you think?
I love Tony Thurmond.
Tony Thurmond's great.
I love a good Panamanian.
Yeah.
Of course.
Tony Thurmond's great. Marshall Tuck would be a kind of a reformer, but he's very pro charter school, which I don't like because there isn't any oversight. But it's a great idea in theory.
I do want to give a shout out though to Stephen Ireland because it's listed as his profession parent, and like it's we can make fun of it or whatever, but it's actually
that's amazing.
It's you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
great. Good for you.
I couldn't raise a kid.
Although we don't actually know what else he does. I mean, although I did some research and I was not impressed.
Okay,
but okay. Next.
County assessor.
Assessor. This job determines the value of newly built, improved, or purchased properties. And I'm so bored I can't even get through that sentence. They determine how much stuff costs, how much property costs.
Yes.
They assess property.
That's usually what.
Okay. Now the LA Times endorses the incumbent Jeffrey Prang, which I'm pretty sure sounds like a Star Trek character. Prang.
Jeffrey Prang is running against Sandy Sun, Krish Indra Kumar, and the guy that you never want to vote for anything in life, John, and I swear to you it says in the ballot, quote, lower taxes, low.
That's his nickname?
Yeah.
Oh, my friends call me Lower Taxes. You can call me John. Yikes. Okay, so, Prang came into this job at the beginning of the last term, and he was coming into an office that was filled with corruption. He cleaned all that up. Or actually, his successor, what's the person that was before him? His
predecessor?
Predecessor. Yeah. There's a lot of corruption with that guy, so Prang came in, cleaned all it up.
Yeah.
He updated the outdated computer systems. He improved public outreach. He's done some really good work, and he deserves a second term. His challengers are bringing up some good ideas, like streamlining and efficiencies, and he should adopt those ideas, but he's done a really good job and should get a second term.
Jeff Prang. Sheriff. Alex Villanueva, Jim McDonald, Robert Bob Lindsay. Wanted you to know that Bob is his nickname. Robert.
Please call me Bob.
I was going to call him Robbie.
So this is from KPCC. It's a public radio station.
I've heard of it.
I really can't say that name too many times. The LA County Sheriff's Department employs some 10,000 deputies and oversees all the jails in the county. It's also grappling with the aftermath of the massive years-long corruption scandal.
Hi.
Hi.
No worries.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye-bye. That was our lovely cleaning staff, and we appreciate it. I think she might...
She might come back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. She's taking out the trash.
She just slammed the door on it.
I mean to be a slam. It meant to be like a close.
It was a. So Alex Villanueva.
Yeah.
Tell me about his new village idea.
Okay, so Villanueva, he's one of the guys that's talking about the internal issues and resentments within the task force because they're saying under McDonnell, who's the current sheriff that's running for re-election, there's just like a low morale. McDonnell has, some criminal justice reform ideas, public safety and jail management ideas. It's just kind of like, LA Times says McDonnell should get another term and let's hope he does more than he's already done.
Yeah.
But I don't think if that's what we're basing this on, I think we should get him out, bring in someone new.
Okay.
Villanueva's gotten the endorsement of progressive.
He's the light sheriff, right?
Yeah, he's the lieutenant, yeah.
Did you know?
And also the DSA did not endorse anyone for this. Might be because it's police related.
He's a true wildcat.
What?
What? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart.
Are you doing a speed reference?
What are the Villanova?
Villanova, yeah, the Wildcats.
Of the school?
Yeah, you're talking about speed.
No, that's Arizona.
Oh,
State.
still Wildcats.
They're both Wildcats.
Yeah.
But Villanova, you would know this, yeah, is Wildcats. Because it's essentially the same name. Villanova?
Oh, I see what you did. Yeah,
It's like the Italian.
it's like the same. Yeah, you can tell we're getting towards the end. We're getting a little loopy.
For Supervisor First District, strong endorsement for Hilda Solis. She's the only person on the ballot.
We should vote for her. Also, if you might live in another part of LA where Sheila Kuehl is on your ballot, and I also would, if you live there, I would vote for her.
Did we
She's
do it?
done a wonderful job. We have 4 ballot measures.
5.
5 ballot measures.
And then we're out of here.
Yeah, we're so close. We're almost done.
There's one person watching.
Great.
That's me.
Oh, good. The ballot measures.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to give you the quick version of these things.
Yeah, do the quick. Do the quick.
Okay.
I'm going to listen.
First of all, here's the answer.
Yeah.
No on 70.
No on 70?
No on 70.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, yes.
Great.
And this has been...
Did you get that? No
this
on
has
70.
been across the board.
Yes.
This is everyone's saying this. It's the kids are saying this. No on 70, yes on the rest. I can go through what the specifics are, but really you can read them. It's I'll just give you one. Prop 68 is the ballot measure to protect what people love about California.
Yeah.
It's to sell more bonds for wildlife conservation, flood protection, safe drinking water, hiking, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Prop 69 is which one was this? Prop 69. Oh, is just to make sure that a bill that was passed last year that we use the money for transportation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's just to make sure that we do that.
Okay, so that's a yes.
That's a yes too.
Great.
Prop 70
Yeah.
is the cap and trade amendment, constitutional amendment.
Requires that.
Prop 70 is the cap and trade constitutional amendment. Okay. Prop 70 would change that a simple majority. Let me try that again.
Say it again.
Okay, right now the state decides how to spend money on this from this fund called the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund.
Gotcha.
They decide how to spend that money through a simple majority. Prop 70 wants to change it to a 2/3 majority. That's bad because it's really hard to get a 2/3 majority vote to do anything.
Right.
So no on 70. And
No
by
on
the way, the groups that say no on 70 include the Sierra Club, Nature Conservancy, California League of Conservation Voters, the California Democratic Party, the LA Times, blah, 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 blah. The only ones that say yes are...
Fuck them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, great. Prop 71.
Yeah.
This is the ballot measure about ballot measures.
Gotcha.
This is where things get a little meta. So this is Prop 71. The idea is that they want to say that every ballot measure that gets approved goes into law
5 days after.
5 days after.
Correct, yeah.
And the groups that are saying yes are basically all the groups we like.
Yep.
So
Yes.
California Common Cause.
It's stupid to approve something and then have to wait all this crap for it to go into effect. It should be an hour after the votes are counted, but I get it. 5 days is fine.
Oh wait. Vote yes on 71.
Yes.
I want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah, provides a ballot measure approved by the majority of voters shall take effect 5 days after the Secretary of State certifies the results of the election. Fiscal impact, likely little...
Oh, I see. Okay, if it passes, it would take effect no later than 43 days after the election. Got it. Okay, that's good because we need to wait for the vote by mail.
Exactly.
That's
Certified.
Yeah. Right. Certified. Good. Okay, yes on 71.
Great.
72.
70 deuce.
This is just to say that property owners and developers would be allowed to install rainwater capture systems without their property taxes going up. So then everyone can save water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no one against this.
Did we do it?
Yes on 72.
Did we do it?
That's it.
We did it. That wasn't bad.
My brain hurts a little bit.
Well, that's because you spent a long time researching this, not just for my benefit, but for everybody listening to this episode's benefit. And I would expect nothing less, but I am nonetheless supremely impressed.
Thank you. I also did it for my benefit.
It's not about you, Dan.
That's right. Not me.
Yeah.
We.
National treasure.
National treasure?
She's a national treasure, Dan.
Oh, DiFi.
No.
Oh, RBG.
RBG. She's a national treasure.
She's a national treasure. Okay, so you're feeling...
I'm feeling great. I think the whole point of this is because we're 2 years into this hellhole, and please, the last thing we want to see on the 5th is another 3% turnout or 5% turnout, because that's a lot of talking on Twitter, that's a lot of talking on Facebook, Dave Jetty, and that's just a lot of not showing up, and that's a lot of just